what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer 55551, and I am back with a video review or review/thought video for this week. For this one, where I'm going to be taking a look at two TV shows that I just finished watching. Season 3 of Spy X Family and Season 2 of Amazon Prime's Video's Fallout series. So for parents out there, it's worth pointing out that Spy X Family is rated TV PG here in the US, while Fallout is rated TV MA here in the US. And if there's any parts of this video you wish to skip to or anything like that, they'll be in the description down below of this video and all. So we'll start off the first one with Spy X Family. And I will say, I've been a fan of this show for quite a while here and there, though. I mean, the whole setting and the world of it, though, really has fascinated me for quite some time. And going into Season 3, I was curious to see how this one would play out and everything. And I will say, after coming away watching all 13 episodes of Season 3, I will say this one I did enjoy, though. There were certainly some parts of it that I did like and everything like that. But there were also two things that I'm sort of a bit, one part, I won't say huge cons or anything like that, but maybe just not a huge fan of at least the approach they did with Season 3 in general of Spy X Family. So I'm going to break it down into, of course, what I like and what I didn't like, mixed and not really 100% sure about. In terms of what I like, I will say that I definitely like that we got to see basically a bit of a backstory of Loid, aka Twilight, and everything in Season 3, though. I thought that was really neat that we explore his childhood in terms of how his town was invaded by the opposition, the enemy on the other side, since the setting for Spy X Family sort of in sort of a World War II kind of setting to a sort of a Cold War type of a setting of Indeed. And we see how Loid was basically, in the army or in the military in general before becoming a spy for wise agents and everything. So it certainly was very interesting to see that, though. I think it was both episode 2 and 3, and I thought that was really neat to get a little bit of a backstory with Loid in general. And I'm hoping if a Season 4 does happen, though, and hopefully it does, we do get a little bit, maybe a big backstory of Anna and Yuri as well, or Euro, if I'm saying her name correctly. I apologize if I'm not saying her name correctly at all, though. So, but I really did like that idea that they did with Season 3, though. So I thought that was really neat, though. I also enjoyed several other episodes as well. The Busjacking episode, which is episode 7, the Red Circus, and episode 8, Take Down the Busjackers, though. I thought that was really neat, especially since it was sort of Anna trying to deal with the situation with the with the whole bus being hijacked and all, sometimes with not so great successes and everything like that, though. But still, that one was really neat. And of course, near the end of Season 3, the whole situation with the information on wise agents coming out, especially with, like episode 11, Extreme Level 3 situation. But episode 12, I think, was a very good one as well. As that one, we got to see Yuri and Twilight, aka Loid, fight each other in the sewers. Of course, Twilight is wearing disguise and everything, but that one was really neat indeed, though. So, I thought it was kind of interesting to see when he tried to when he saw Loid looked like he was injured, but basically he saw it seemed to look fine, only that was sort of a disguise with a bullet hole scene and everything. But either way, I thought that one really stood out the most, including the fights in the sewer, to even the wise agent that was selling information basically getting his butt kicked by, I believe her name was Frost and everything. I apologize, I'm not getting her name correctly or anything, but that was really neat indeed. So those episodes definitely really stood out for me the most and all, especially the one involving Loid's past and everything like that. As far as what I didn't like or mixed or not 100% sure about, I will say that in terms of if I'm saying her name correctly, we really didn't get to see much of her in action or saw like really any, like I felt like any iconic moments like maybe what we saw with season 1 and everything like that though. I mean, I don't hate the character or anything like that. She still has like, you know, she still is this tough assassin, but when it comes to things outside of that, she does come off as maybe a little bit clumsy here and there and everything. But I mean, we didn't get to see a huge amount of her in action to a certain degree. And I thought that was somewhat disappointed though. And and finally, last but not least, I was hoping that with the way season 3 played out near the end though, I was hoping that it would end, season would end somewhat with a cliffhanger, maybe with Yuri finding out who Twilight's identity is, because I can't help but feel there's going to be a point, at least on the anime side though, that might be different than the manga side, I'm not 100% sure because I haven't read the manga, but I can't help but feel like there's going to be a point where these folks' secret identity is going to come out, like Yuri being part of the secret police, Yuri being actually, I think, Thorn Rose, if I'm saying her identity correctly, as the assassin, Anna really having the ability to read people's mind, and Loid actually being the spy, you know, Twilight, everything like that. I just feel like I'm just wondering how long they could do this until it gets to that point, to be exact though. So in a way, I kind of was hoping for a cliffhanger for season 3 in terms of Yuri finding out Twilight's identity and all. Obviously, we didn't get that. I mean, I'm not saying this ruins the series or anything like that. I was just hoping that happened in every way though. Overall, I did come away pleased with season 3 of Spy X Family though. I still enjoyed the show after watching, you know, all 3 seasons so far, and it still remains a personal favorite of mine though. At its best though, I like the flashback episode about the episode of Loid in terms of his past and everything, and I also enjoyed the episodes involving the busjacking and the whole wise agent information almost got out situation, including the fight in the sewer, which is the highlight for me for season 3 and all. But at its worst though, we didn't get to see Yuri in action, or Yor, if I'm saying her name correctly, and as I mentioned, I would have liked to have season 3 ended with like a cliffhanger and everything. But in either case though, I still came away pleased with this one though. I'm hoping that season 4 does happen. I believe it will. It will be curious to see if season 4 does happen. It will be very curious to see what direction they decide to go with a 4th season of Spy X Family. But in either case though, I liked season 3. I thought it was good. And if you were a fan of the first 2 seasons though, more than likely you'll enjoy season 3 and everything. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to the second part of this double feature video. And for this one, I wanted to give my thoughts on the second season of Amazon Prime's Fallout. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of my double TV show review, and for this one, I'm going to be taking a look at the second season of Fallout, which I just finished watching that one. Indeed, though. Now, when the first season was announced of Fallout, though, the TV show on Amazon Prime's Video, I will admit I was a little skeptic about it at first, though. I wasn't sure if it was going to do well or not. And then when I saw the first trailer for it, though, I thought, okay, this might be good. This may actually be good. And at the end, I really did enjoy the first season, though, especially with my favorite character being the ghoul and everything, especially with the gunfight outside of, like, you know, that market, to be exact. So it turned out to be actually a very good show indeed. And obviously, going into the second season, it was pretty clear they were going to draw inspiration from New Vegas and everything. So after watching the entire second season and all, I will say I still came away pleased with this one, to be exact. I will admit there were 2 parts that I was very mixed on in terms of what they did with the second season of Fallout, but in either way I still came away pleased from this one nevertheless. So like with Spy X Family, I'm going to break it down into what I like and what I didn't like, mixed, not 100% sure about. in terms of what I liked and all, I will say I did like the idea that they had where Lucy and the ghoul were at least trying to work together. Obviously, they didn't see eye to eye on everything, but it was pretty clear they were at least trying to, as they both were aiming for the same goal to get to pretty much, or at least try to stop, Lucy's dad, who basically you saw a little bit of him still working with Vault Tech, doing his experiments and everything. So it was certainly neat to see those two try to work together. Obviously, we still saw a bit of Maximus with the Brotherhood and Steel and everything, but nevertheless, though, it was certainly seeing Lucy and the Ghoul at least trying to work together. Also, I did like how we had some of the bit of the flashback episodes before the start of, the Great War and everything like that. I also did enjoy that we finally got to see the NCR, the New California Republic, even though we only got to see them near the end of Season 2. I mean, you saw a little bit of them in Season 2, but you saw, the real potential of them at the end of Season 2, in which they're taking out some of the Deathclaw. There's also an infamous scene where basically one of them is sniping the Deathclaw, shooting him, shooting one out with what looked like a sniper rifle or rifle in general, which is kind of a callback to the opening of Fallout New Vegas with that scene very similar as well. So I thought that was really neat. And we also got to see, the Legion somewhat in action, though. And I will say, I also was kind of impressed with Macaulay Culkin's character, indeed, though. It's still trying to wrap my head around seeing him in something outside of, Home Alone that I remember watching when I was little and everything like that. But nevertheless, it was certainly nice to see them. And of course, I did like how they used, New Vegas as sort of the setting for Season 2 in general, though. And last but not least, though, I do like the idea of the Brotherhood and Steel engaging in what apparently is a civil war, as it appears that there were definitely factions in the Brotherhood of Steel that you saw throughout Season 2 of Fallout in general, though. And Maximus did something that basically helped trigger that, though, including helping his former friend who apparently started to turn into a ghoul. Not like the fertile ghouls or anything like that, but just like the ghoul kind of similar to the cowboy ghoul in the Fallout TV shows in general, indeed, though. But nevertheless, I am curious to see how that will play out maybe in Season 3 if we see more of the Brotherhood of Steel engaging sort of in a Civil War approach and everything. As far as what I didn't like, mix, or I'm not 100% sure, though, I will have to say some of this has to do with Macaulay Culkin's character, though. While I certainly didn't hate the character or the Legions in general, I was a little disappointed with how the Legions or his character was kind of portrayed. You really didn't get to see much except for maybe 2 episodes, though, including the one near the end of Season 2, though, which it does make me feel like in Season 3 they might play a much bigger role or something like that. There is a possibility, though, but I was a little disappointed we only saw his character in 2 episodes and that's it. I was hoping maybe a little bit more, to be exact, though. And finally, last but not least, I was also mixed with how the ending of Season 2 is and everything. Now, this might be a bit of a spoiler for those who have yet to see Season 2 of Fallout, though, although I'm sure most have already seen it by now and everything. But the ending, I felt like it seemed to indicate that the ghoul was heading to find where his family was, thought maybe he had lost his family and everything like that, which, while that would be very interesting to see how that would play out in Season 3, the part that just confuses me, maybe this is just me, and maybe I missed something, but I'm thinking of flashbacks towards Season 1, where basically that first scene with the nuclear bomb dropping on Los Angeles, and the ghoul, before he was a ghoul, taking his daughter, riding on a horse, trying to escape what is basically the nuclear apocalypse happening and everything. And my immediate reaction originally was the idea that his family was killed during the Great War, but to see them alive, I'm trying to figure out how is that somewhat possible, especially with his daughter, which he held her in Season 1 on horseback trying to escape, all the nuclear blasts that were going on in Los Angeles. during the Great War in the Fallout series, though. So I was just mixed on how the ending is done on that. Maybe they'll explain it in season 3 of Fallout if that does happen. I believe it is, but I'm not 100% certain about that. Maybe they'll explain that, but I just was very mixed on how the ending of season 2 is going to play out, though. But nevertheless, though, I won't say it was a disappointment at all. I still would be very interested to see if the ghoul does find his family and what condition they may be, to how Caesar's legions could play out in season 2. So I'm still looking forward to it to see if they do this in season 3, but I still remain mixed about season 2 in general and all. Overall, I still enjoyed season 2 nevertheless. Maybe not on the same scale as season 1, but still enjoyed it either way and everything like that. And I am still kind of curious to see how season 3 would play out and all. Excuse me. At its best, though, I do like the idea of Lucy and the ghoul at least trying to work together. Mix some successes, some not, though. I did like the fact we saw the new California Republic and the legions in somewhat in action, though. And the idea of the Brotherhood of Steel engaging in the Civil War certainly was interesting indeed, and I'm very curious to see if that does play out in season 3, though. But at its worst, though, again, a little bit mixed on Macaulay Culkin, how he was used in season 2. Maybe that will change in season 3, though. And again, was somewhat mixed on the ending for season 2. But in either case, though, I still came away pleased with how season 2 played out. Fallout, though, I am, like I said, it'll be very interesting to see how season 3 plays out indeed, though, and how that all is going to happen, and whether or not season 3 could be the last season of Fallout. That's a possibility. Maybe they do a season 4. Who knows if that is the case, though. But in either way, I did enjoy season 2. Maybe not as much as season 1, but I still enjoyed it nevertheless, though. Okay, this concludes my review / thought of season 3 of Spy X Family and season 2 of Fallout, though. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about season 3 of Spy X Family? Did you thought season 3 was good in any way? Were there any episodes you felt stand out and all? Did you like the idea of some of the episodes exploring Twilight or Twilight's past? And do you think there are other characters past do you think they should explore if another season does happen? Which I believe it will, but who knows? Who knows on that part, though? What's your thought about season 2 of Fallout, though? Did you enjoy the second season of Fallout in any way? Were you pleased how the NCR, the New California Republic, and the Legions were portrayed in season 2 by any chance, though? Were you pleased with the ending of season 2? Were you not? And are you looking forward to the possibility of a season 3 happening at all? Maybe a season 4 if that does come to fruition in any way? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And if you do like this video, I hope you hit the like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You could do it through PayPal Me, Patreon, or Steam Labs. Links will be in the description of this video, assuming you watch this either on YouTube or Patreon. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye.